Okay, this is part 2 of the Autodesk Basics. We are at this screen. This is the screen that we got to by going to the dog ear and choosing part. I talked to you about their browser being very, very important and how I depend upon it and how you need to depend upon it to track what you're doing and to make changes, to fix errors. And this view cube is very important. This navigation bar may or may not be of importance to you, but sometimes kids will lose their browser. They'll lose it more often than they'll lose their view cube. You need to know how to get that back. Browser is something you view, so you're going to click on the tab. You're going to click on the View tab up here. The only time you'll go to this is when you lose your browser, or when you lose your view cube or your navigation bar. So I clicked on View. I'm going to go to User Interface, and notice that these are checked. Now I'm only going to check these top 3. I'm not going to worry about these down here. I'm going to leave these as they are. They may or may not look the same on your computer as they do mine. But if I uncheck View Cube, it goes away. If I check it again, it comes back. If I uncheck Browser, as you can see, it's not there anymore, and that becomes a large problem. So in order to get back your browser, sometimes you'll boot your program up and it won't be there. You've got to have that browser there. And think about it this way. It's something you see. You need to go to View. You need to go to User Interface and make sure it is selected. Okay, now also while we're talking about things that you see, you can see that there are a lot of, well, they're not available right now because we haven't made any sketches, but there's a lot of choices on a window like this, and sometimes this will disappear and we start to panic. What happens is we maybe accidentally click this button here. As you can see, it changed drastically. So if your toolbar, your ribbon, whatever you want to call it, starts to look differently, just come up here to this little icon, this little arrow, and just go slow about it because you might run past where you want it to be. Okay. We have about 2.5 minutes before the video will shut me down here, but I want to just talk to you a little bit about panning and zooming, and we'll talk more when we actually make a shape. But panning is what you can do with your hand over here. You can click on it and then go to pan. I like to put my cursor where something I'm going to move, hold my scroll down, and then I can move things around. It's so much easier for me than going over to pan, and then I have to right click done or push escape. I can do it very quickly this way. Also, notice that wherever you have your mouse and you zoom in or out, that's where it zooms. So way over here, I'm going to lose my center point. Something you need to keep track of. Okay, we're going to be doing a sketch here in a little bit. I'm going to exit out of here and start it all up again. I'm going to go to the dog ear and click Part. I'm going to make a brick, and that's what you're going to make too. Now I got to think back. A brick, if you were to undo a brick, you might consider it being a rectangle. So we're going to go up here and click Rectangle and click 2-point rectangle. And I'm going to come down here in quadrant 4. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to click once, drag it a diagonal, and click again. And that will give me the basics of my rectangle. Okay, I have only 30 seconds left before I get shut down. We're going to continue with part 3 on our next video clip.